People. Hey, do you know what, yeah? You know when you hear something and alarm bells just start going off in your mind? Like you hear one piece of information and you think back, I've heard this somewhere before, or it connects with something else I've heard. And all of a sudden, all the dots start connecting in your mind and you piece it together. That's basically what's happening with this one, people. So look, let me break it down. Let me try and cut to the chase and make it make sense for you people. So look, as you've probably heard already, Usain Bolt has apparently lost $12.7 million from his account, right? So Usain Bolt needs no introduction. Jamaican track and field legend, Olympic icon, world record holder, gold medalist, all the rest of it. Needs no introduction. So we know who we're talking about, right? So there's a story that's come out today that's basically said he's lost $12.7 million from his account. Let me read it real quick for you people. So it says, a lawyer from Usain Bolt said on Wednesday that more than 12.7 million is missing from his account with a private investment firm in Jamaica. If this is correct, and we are hoping it is not, then a serious act of fraud, larceny, or a combination of both has been committed against our client, Bolt's lawyers say in the letter. They threaten civil and criminal action if the money is not returned within 10 days. Stocks and Securities Limited did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. All right, so Stocks and Securities Limited are said private investment company who are allegedly to be involved with this money going missing, right? So look, Stocks and Securities Limited. Who are Stocks and Securities Limited? Let's take a quick look, shall we? So Stocks and Securities Limited are a company who were investigated 5 years ago in Jamaica for having a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement. So let me read a little snippet of this story. Stocks and Securities Limited were flagged in 2017 by staff of the Financial Services Commission for a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of client funds, a systematic concern that may alarm investors as the company now grapples with billion-dollar fraud. This is 5 years ago, people. This investigation and this report was put forward by the Financial Services Commission, aka the FSC, over there in Jamaica. Here's where it starts getting interesting, people. Who are the Financial Services Commission? Let's go on their website real quick. So look, stay with me on this one. It's all the penny's gonna start dropping. Watch. The Financial Services Commission came into existence on August 2nd, 2001 by virtue of the Financial Services Commission Act. It has replaced the Office of the Superintendent of Insurance and Unit Trusts and the Securities Commission. Long story short, they are the government financial arm. So they've been entrusted and empowered by the Jamaican government to regulate the financial sector over there in Jamaica. All right, so look, that's the background. That's the context. These are the players. This is kind of the landscape of what we're talking about, right? But here is the joke part. So as we know, Usain Bolt has just been robbed for $12.7 million, right? Like I said, here's the joke part, people. You can't make this stuff up, man. Who is going to go in and investigate this current fraud case and the missing money? You guessed it, people. Like, it's the FSC. The same FSC that I just told you investigated almost an identical case 5 years ago, put forward a report, and suddenly the report disappeared and nothing happened. And SSL have been left to carry on running their company, doing all kind of madness, even though they were found to be inappropriate and were mismanaging their clients' portfolios 5 years ago. So the same FSC are going in now to do what, people? To make the same report and it go nowhere again. And you can't make this stuff up, man. It's all mad. It is all mad. But do you know what, yeah? So that aside, we could argue that, do you know what? It's just a couple of people within these companies and there's nothing to worry about, yeah? It's a coincidence. Well, first things first, you already know me, people. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't think there's no such thing as coincidence. I think like if coincidence is a lazy man's excuse, in my opinion. It just means you haven't been bothered to do the research and to dig into the situation to find out where the dots connect. And you know what they say, people, follow the money and you find the answer to the conspiracy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So let's follow that. Let's find some answers. Let's connect some dots. Because like I said, I don't believe in any coincidence. So is it a coincidence, people, that this case came out on the exact same day that Jennifer Masado and her bookie husband just had their bail extended for their big fraud case over in Jamaica against Movado? Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Let's see what Movado has to say about it, because he just posted this on his Instagram. Right, so the headline is bail extended for Jennifer Masado and husband. So Movado says as follows: Jamaica is full of white-collar criminals and the government is not doing anything about it because the people who's taking your money are friends of the bosses who run the country and who makes the talk and support white-collar crime against the people who came from nothing to something. Under this government, you will never see the real criminals go to jail as long as they come from uptown where everyone goes to the same school and grow up together. All I can say, Jamaica, get effed. And we have to pray because it's a serious thing and it's getting worse because now them getting very dry eye with it. So who's going to save us? So there you have it, people. That's what Movado had to say about it. So is this beginning to sound a bit familiar? What we just heard about SSL and this report by the FCS, the FSC, should I say, getting my acronyms muddled up, by the FSC, that report went away. This whole situation with Jennifer Masado seems to be going away. Nothing's happening. No one's getting prosecuted. You get what I'm trying to say? Let's connect the dots. And by the way, people, if you want to find out the full story about Jennifer Masado and Movado, it always gets me. It's a bit of a tongue twister, people. But yeah, the link's up on the top of your screen right now. You can start connecting the dots for yourself, people. But let's not stop there. Again, I don't believe in coincidences because this Usain Bolt case happened on the exact same day, people, that numerous Bank of America customers reported that their transactions mysteriously disappeared overnight. Specifically, transactions that were made via the Zelle platform, which is basically a digital payments platform. And I'm going to show you some examples. Let me show you some headlines. Again, it's all a coincidence, people. Nothing to worry about. Bank of America says the problem with Zelle transactions is resolved. Bank of America starts restoring missing Zelle transactions. Bank of America customer reports disappeared money from accounts after Zelle issue. Bank of America customers allegedly woke up to missing funds from their account. I could go on. Like, this is basically, so this is the average person is woke up and there's money missing from their account. They're either in their overdraft or their account's gone to zero, like nothing happened. And let me read a quick snippet just to highlight the point. So look, this was from Twitter, posted by a banker of all people. So Bank of America has referred all questions to Zelle. A Zelle spokesman said customers should refer to the bank if they're experiencing any issues. The great merry-go-round of it's not our problem. Do you see what I'm saying, people? So the bank are blaming the platform are blaming the bank. No one's taking accountability because all it basically raises is doubt and doubt specifically in people's minds about the security of their bank and their money. But let's not stop there, people. Let's not stop there. No. All right. It's all coincidence, right? So how many things have we already looked at now? It's all a coincidence. Nothing to worry about, people. Let me add one more coincidence into the mix. So who remembers the video I posted a short while back when Kanye West was speaking about Adidas and their severed partnership? And he had this to say.
The reason why I'm announcing that I'm running for president is I want the FCC to look at my money. If the FCC was looking at my money, there had been a possibility that Adidas wouldn't have went into JP Morgan and froze my account and put a $75 million hold on 4 different accounts. I went from being a multi-billionaire to not being able to use my Apple Pay. 4 nights ago, I couldn't use my Apple Pay because somehow Adidas was able to legally go in and freeze my money. And when I see this, I think, well, if this could happen to me, this could happen to other Americans. And for what? You know, this can happen to an American.
Boom. Just a coincidence, people, or are the dots beginning to connect? What did he say at the end there? If this can happen to me, this can happen to ordinary Americans. Replace Americans with whichever country you're watching the video from, because the same thing applies. It's a global problem, people, right? What is the pattern we're seeing here? What is the trend? So look, it started with Kanye West, $75 million legally taken from his account. He said it himself, right? Somehow Adidas were able to legally go in and freeze $75 million from his account. Now we have Usain Bolt saying that $12.7 million has been taken from his account. So I'm going to stop short of saying legally, but when we look at the history of the companies involved, and we know that the government have investigated the investment management company in the past and turned a blind eye to it, I'm not saying it's legal, but we're blurring the lines here a little bit, people. It's a bit of a grey area when it comes to the legality of what's happening with Usain Bolt, because they knew this was happening and they didn't do nothing about it 5 years ago. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So then we've gone to that, and then we've also gone to average people having their money taken. So average people, anyone on the street, me, you, whoever, having their money taken from their account in America, the Bank of America situation with Zelle. So can you see a pattern emerging? Where am I going with all this? All of these cases are mainstream, have been big in the media, but slowly but surely it's just normalizing in people's minds without them even knowing it, that people's money's going missing is normal. And then fast forward a certain point in time. Let me say why that's important. Let me double down on this a little bit. When you want to make massive social change, right, that impacts on a national or global scale, you need a problem to solve in order to usher in that change. People, the general population and masses of people don't like change. People are comfortable. Human beings don't like change. Like, that's a fact, right? So the only way you can get them to change or usher in a brand new way of doing things is to create a problem and then create the solution for that problem. We've seen it happen years and years on end. Like, it happens all the time, whether you recognize it or not. You might start recognizing and connecting the dots based on this. But once you kind of know the pattern and you know what to look out for, it's pretty easy to spot. So the dichotomy is like you create a problem, then people react to the problem, and then you offer them the solution. And instead of the people then uproaring about it, they actually ask for it. They actually welcome it. They actually beg for it in some cases. So here we have, what's the problem? Your money is not safe in your bank. Simple as that. Let's just create a narrative where your money is not safe. It could go missing. Yeah, sure, the people that are involved in these cases will probably get their money back. But that's not the point of this, people. The point is to just normalize it via media and via public perception in people's minds, as I said. So the problem is people's money can go missing. Who's going to provide a solution? Well, it can only be one solution in my mind. In steps a brand new, shiny, government-backed digital asset, which is leverages blockchain security and blockchain technology to, guess what, keep all your money and your assets and your finances safe. And it will be centralized, it will be government-backed, owned, however you want to say. And that will be the solution, people. And people are going to be crying out for that solution, because more and more we're going to see these cases of people's money going missing. And when it comes down to it, people don't want to lose their money. I'm going to I don't want to go too conspiracy on this. I don't want the video to get pulled down. I'm going to leave you to connect the dots and put two and two together and figure out why having one government-issued centralized digital asset, which is enabled by blockchain technology, is not necessarily a great idea for the vast majority of people on this planet. I'll leave you to figure that out for yourself. You may agree, you may disagree. I'm not even going to share my views on it. I've said what I've said, right? So that's the narrative that we're hearing. You're going to start, like, here's my prediction, right? I'm not going to go too deep with it. I'm not going to name any names, but my prediction going forward is you're going to hear more and more murmurings about people losing their money from their bank, one. Secondly, you're going to hear more and more murmurings of potential cyber threats by ops. I don't want to name any names, but, like, there could be some big opposition out there, big ops, people that, don't have the Western world's best interests at heart. I don't know, that are, these bad guys, bad criminals, and they're going to come and launch a cyber attack and it's going to wipe out everyone's bank account. Anyway, people, thank you for watching the video. Let me know how you feel about what we've discussed in the comments. On your way out, drop a like. And look, before I leave, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm not here to tell anyone what they should do with their money, what might happen with their money. You know, if you feel your money's safe in a bank, by all means, leave it there. Do whatever you're doing. Like, I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to present information and just, you know, I don't think the Usain Bolt thing is, you know, it's not just isolated to that. I think there's a bit more to it, and that's just a small piece of the puzzle going forward, people. So that's my views. Anyway, like I said, drop a like on your way out. Usain Bolt, hold your head. Hope you get your money back. And until the next one, Live 25, we're out, people.